I remember standing in my kitchen one evening, completely frozen. Dishes piled high, laundry waiting, deadlines looming. The weight of it all felt crushing. It wasn't just the tasks themselves, but the feeling that I wasn't enough, that I couldn't keep up. So many of us struggle with overwhelm in our increasingly demanding world. In this video, we're going to dive deep into the causes and symptoms of overwhelm, exploring practical strategies to regain your sense of agency and navigate life's challenges with more resilience and grace. Overwhelm doesn't just appear out of thin air. It's often the culmination of various stressors that chip away at our sense of peace and control. Life is full of change, both big and small. New jobs, moving, marriage, divorce, illness, loss. These transitions require enormous adaptation. Our culture glorifies busyness and productivity, leaving little room for rest and renewal. Chronic stress, lack of sleep, poor nutrition, and underlying health conditions can significantly affect our ability to cope with life's demands. When our bodies and minds are depleted, even small challenges can feel insurmountable. Recognizing these sources is the first step in understanding and addressing the overwhelm in our lives. One of the biggest contributors to overwhelm is the feeling of being out of control. We humans crave predictability and order, but life is messy and unpredictable, and sometimes that lack of control can leave us feeling powerless and afraid. When we face uncertainty, our minds go into overdrive, trying to anticipate every possible outcome. This constant state of worry and anticipation keeps us stuck in a cycle of fear and anxiety, making it difficult to think clearly and make sound decisions. The more we try to control everything and everyone around us, the more anxious and overwhelmed we become. It's about finding a balance between taking action where we can and surrendering to the things we cannot control. It's about learning to ride the waves of uncertainty with courage and resilience. For many of us, the pressure to be perfect is a major source of overwhelm. We strive for flawlessness in everything we do, our work, our relationships, our appearance, even our hobbies. The roots of perfectionism often lie in a deep fear of judgment and rejection. We believe that if we're not perfect, we won't be loved, accepted, or worthy. This relentless pursuit of perfection is a recipe for overwhelm. The antidote to perfectionism is embracing the beauty of imperfection. It's about learning to accept ourselves, flaws and all, and recognizing that our worthiness is not contingent on our accomplishments or mistakes. It's about celebrating our efforts, acknowledging our progress, and focusing on what truly matters. Raise your hand if your to-do list feels more like a to-do novel. Procrastination is one of the biggest culprits. We put off tasks we dread, often until the last minute, creating unnecessary stress and pressure. Another common pitfall is overcommitting. We say yes to every request, every obligation, every invitation, even when our plates are already overflowing. Effective time management is about making conscious choices about how we spend our time. It's about identifying our priorities, setting boundaries, and learning to say no to the things that drain our energy and distract us from what truly matters. We are wired for connection. We thrive in community, drawing strength and resilience from our relationships with others. Yet, in our fast-paced, individualistic society, it's easy to become isolated, even when surrounded by people. When we feel overwhelmed, it's easy to withdraw, to isolate ourselves out of shame or a sense of being too much for others. Building a strong support network takes time and effort. It's about nurturing meaningful relationships with family, friends, colleagues, or even online communities where we feel seen, heard, and understood. Remember, you don't have to go through this alone. There is strength in connection, and together we can navigate life's challenges with greater resilience and hope. Now that we've explored some of the common causes of overwhelm, let's shift our focus to practical strategies for reclaiming your sense of agency. The first step in taming overwhelm is to identify and acknowledge the stressors in your life. What are the things that consistently leave you feeling drained, anxious, or unable to cope? Grab a journal or a piece of paper and start by creating a brain dump. Write down everything that's weighing on your mind, big or small, without judgment or censorship. Once you have a comprehensive list of your stressors, it's time to prioritize. Not all stresses are created equal, and it's impossible to tackle everything at once. Start by identifying the most urgent or pressing issues, the things that are causing the most stress or preventing you from functioning at your best. One of the biggest mistakes we make when we're feeling overwhelmed is trying to tackle everything at once. The key to overcoming overwhelm is to break down large, daunting tasks into smaller, more manageable steps. This not only makes the task seem less intimidating, but also gives us a sense of accomplishment as we check off each mini milestone along the way. Create a list of all the individual steps involved, even if they seem small or insignificant. Once you have a detailed breakdown of the project, you can begin to prioritize and schedule these smaller tasks. As you work through each step, celebrate your accomplishments, no matter how small. When we're feeling overwhelmed, our lives often feel chaotic and unpredictable. Establishing a consistent daily routine can provide a sense of structure, predictability, and control in the midst of chaos. Start by identifying the non-negotiable activities that need to happen each day, such as work, school, or family commitments. Then, create a schedule that incorporates these essential activities, along with dedicated time for self-care, relaxation, and activities that bring you joy. Just as important as establishing a routine is incorporating regular breaks throughout your day. Schedule short breaks throughout your day to step away from your work, move your body, clear your mind, and engage in activities that nourish your soul. This might involve taking a walk in nature, listening to music, meditating, or simply enjoying a few moments of quiet solitude. We live in a world filled with distractions, but by implementing some simple time management strategies and utilizing helpful tools, we can regain control of our schedules and reduce feelings of overwhelm. One of the most effective ways to manage your time is to identify and minimize your personal time vampires. These are the activities that tend to suck up your time without you even realizing it, leaving you feeling drained and unproductive at the end of the day. Start by paying attention to how you spend your time. Track your activities for a day or two, noting how much time you spend on various tasks, both work-related and personal. Once you've identified your time vampires, explore ways to minimize their impact on your day. When we're feeling overwhelmed, self-care often falls by the wayside. But the truth is, self-care is not a luxury. It's a necessity, especially when we're struggling to cope with life's demands. Self-care encompasses any activity that nourishes your physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual well-being. It's about making a conscious effort to prioritize your needs, even in the midst of chaos and uncertainty. Remember, self-care is not selfish. It's an act of self-preservation. When we prioritize our well-being, we have more energy, focus, and resilience to navigate the challenges that life throws our way. Life is full of ups and downs. There will be times when we feel overwhelmed, stressed, and uncertain about the future. But by implementing the strategies we've discussed, identifying our stressors, breaking down tasks, establishing routines, seeking support, and prioritizing self-care, we can navigate these challenges with greater resilience and grace. Remember, overcoming overwhelm is not a destination. It's a journey. Be kind to yourself, be patient with the process, and celebrate every small victory along the way. If you're struggling to manage overwhelm on your own, please know that you don't have to do it alone.